Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special webinar, Herbs for the Holidays. And I am here with Beth Damaris. Beth has been studying with Dr. Pillai for about 16 years now. She has a spiritual name, Nambu or Nambu Nayaki, and that is the name of a medicine and healing goddess that you may have heard of. Dr. Pillai mentions Nambu Nayaki as the goddess who helped heal his mother while she was an infant. And Beth is also the CEO of Vopec, a Ayurvedic Siddha pharmaceutical company in India, and she's a managing director of Nambu Botanicals. So I'm thrilled to be here with Nambu today, or Beth, and today what she's going to do is tell us about how we can use herbs to create solutions in our lives. Nambu Botanicals, the company that she's a managing director of, and that was founded by Dr. Pillai. One of his dreams and missions has been to have herbs available to us to help us change internally and have that be expressed externally, so that our life literally changes with the use of sound-infused herbs. So one of the herbs we're going to be talking about is the one associated with Shreem Brzee, which is why we've been doing these webinars for the past couple of months, really helping everyone to tune more into Shreem Brzee. How we can use this mantra to completely transform our lives. Dr. Pillai says that 2008 is going to be the year of Shreem Brzee. So we're helping you as much as we possibly can tune into Shreem Brzee in so many ways. And here's the way that we're going to be able to tune into Shreem Brzee physically through herb. So let's hear from Beth on what that looks like and how we are going to get started today. So I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Well, I'm very honored to be here, and hello to everybody. And I know everyone is working hard at having abundance consciousness and prosperity and wealth consciousness. Me too. And I found one, I'm going to share a presentation with you that I've created, because I found really what the crux of what's happened in my life and what I've heard a number of other people express is that taking herbs has changed their karma. And it's basically, and Dr. Pillai even said, it's if you change your chemistry, you can change your karma. So we all know there's lots of things that happen in chemistry that, you know, serotonin levels, dopamine levels, all of these hormones that play into us kind of being happy or sad or down or tired or unmotivated or less resilient. All of these things have a huge impact in what we do, in how we perform, actually, and what we think, and not only just performance, but just our overall happiness. So I wanted to just kind of outline a little bit about particularly how Shreem Brzee helps the formula Shreem Brzee, which is a turmeric formula that's phoneme-infused with the mantra Shreem Brzee, how this will kind of help you have the energy of wealth all day. So I'm going to go ahead and put myself into the share screen mode and turn off my video. So okay, I'm going to walk through this and hopefully we all learned something here. Presenter view. Okay. So, Jayrada, can you see the image okay?
I can, but it's not in slideshow mode yet.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Excellent. Okay. So Shreem Brzee and Shreem Brzee, infuse Shreem Brzee in your body. And Nambu Botanicals, of course, is the company name. This is Dr. Pillai's company, and he started it to change the karma in all aspects of life. And of course, one of his main areas right now is financial karma, but it always has actually been financial karma. I think that's been his primary interest, is helping everybody come up in life and have the resources and the needs that they look for. So everyone, we all want to manifest faster, but there's sort of some things that get in the way. and you need the willpower to practice each day. And that's what willpower is. It's kind of like you want to supersize your lunch, but you know you shouldn't. Or you know you should do something like file your taxes or go to the gym, and yet you'd kind of rather just make the choice to do nothing. So willpower is something that's really real, and it's something that many people struggle with. And also that too has a chemistry, which we'll find out as we go along. And it has to do with both the brain and body connection. And then the other thing is, people, or particularly myself, I need solid goals to always keep my thoughts and my energy manifesting. And the thing about goals is, particularly my own personal experience with goals is that my goal has to be something that is really exciting. So I have small goals along the way, but I have to have something that I really it's big, it's something that's a really big thing to do, and I really want to attain that. But it's inspiring, and it's a goal that's not only just for myself but also for humanity. But the problem is that to keep your mind on these goals, it really takes energy. You have to really think about the goal, and then oftentimes we get whatever in a mood, and all of a sudden we forget about that goal, and we forget about even wanting to think about that goal. So the whole thing is really energy. It's all about thoughts and energy on target for manifesting. And also having a hard time staying positive. So becoming positive, of course, we all fall down being positive. We want to be positive, but there's some days that are just more difficult to keep more positive thoughts going. So I wanted to acknowledge that these are sort of some challenges that we have when we're manifesting. So when you manifest life, manifesting is really equivalent to life force. And this is where sort of herbs kind of come into play here. So it's the full body, it's the physical, it's the mental, and it's the subtle body. All of these bodies together work together in order to give us life force, to stay on it, to stay on manifesting, to stay positive, to stay thinking about that goal. And on the emotional side, we need a positive mindset. We just talked about that. On the willpower side, for the brain to work properly, you need to have that the willpower to really bring all of your energy into the present and be able to take action on the things that you want to achieve. And there's one thing about the willpower is that it's also a brain. It's a brain and body connection. So there's a part of the brain that works, and that's the prefrontal cortex. And that has a big impact on your willpower, because it can kind of override that emotional side and say, from a logical perspective, I really want to go and I really want to make this goal. I really want to do my Shreem Brzee chanting. I really want to take the steps that I know I have to take in order to achieve and manifest. And then lastly, of course, is spiritual support. Not last, I think it's probably the most important thing, and also weaves everything together, kind of like this picture that we have here on the slide. So spiritual support gives the divine connection. It gives the ability to have hope and to be able to watch and feel and see things come to fruition. So for me, spiritual it's very much of a feeling, but without the spiritual side, I feel like I can't quite get my hands on the hope or the enthusiasm or the excitement, because I think that's sort of the weave of everything, making everything possible. So Shreem Brzee chanting creates an immersion of wealth and abundance. And Shreem Brzee is life energy. This is a quote from Dr. Pillai. Now, the golden goddess, and how does this all fit into the perspective of herbs and all? So just to kind of go back into where all of herbal or herbology, Ayurveda, Siddha medicine, where all this came from, is we aren't the inventors. The Siddhas are. And the Siddhas actually first discovered that plants could be healing. And Siddha medicine predates Ayurveda medicine. And I don't know if people probably may have heard these terms. Ayurveda is the sort of traditional healing modality that happens here in India. And it's a full body-mind type of healing. And Siddha medicine, as I said, just kind of predates Ayurveda. And how they actually discovered that the plants had healing is they had meditations and conversations with gods and goddesses. So the Siddhas, back when a few thousand years ago, were highly evolved beings. They meditated. They had a lifestyle that supported achieving unlimited states of consciousness and also manifesting things. So they're well known, and you see them. I'm in India today, and you see oftentimes if you want to find a Siddha, you can find a Siddha, and they may manifest something for you if you ask them. So Siddhas are very special beings, and they work an entire lifetime at sort of becoming superhuman, both consciously and physically. And when they found out that plants had this healing, they scribed everything down, and they really became the first alchemists and scientists to test their discoveries. And that's really how herbal supplements came to the West and became so popular in healing. So Lakshmi and turmeric are the most celebrated goddess herb combination in India. And when you go to a temple, if you go to a Lakshmi temple, there are just mounds of turmeric that are always nearby the goddess. And sometimes the turmeric is also on her. Sometimes she has a turmeric root that is a pendant tied around her neck. And when a woman in India first gets married, the very first thing they do, because it's considered to be very auspicious, good luck, it's considered to sort of set the marriage off on the right foot, is they take the sacred thread that's going to be the thread between the husband and the wife, and they dip it in turmeric. And that is the very first thing that they do, is they say this sacred connection that we have, we're going to protect that connection in turmeric. And turmeric is related and basically associated, as I said, with goddess Lakshmi. Turmeric root is tied as a pendant around goddess Lakshmi and to attract wealth. And also you see people who want to attract wealth. They too, in fact, Dr. Pillai years ago asked the people who were studying with him at the time, he said, if you want to attract wealth, you want to attract Lakshmi, you just tie a turmeric root around your neck and you can kind of tuck it down so people don't see it. But it's known, turmeric is known to really attract the goddess. So Lakshmi actually means goal. Goddess Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth and prosperity, as you know, both material and spiritual. And the word Lakshmi is derived from the Sanskrit word Laksmi, Laksme. This actually means goal. And with that in mind, Lakshmi represents the goal of life, which includes worldly as well as spiritual prosperity. So Lakshmi actually has a very goal-orientated, not only in her name, but the energy she brings. Shreem Brzee, of course, being the calling card for goddess Lakshmi, will also bring you the consciousness and the awareness of goal. So Lakshmi and Shreem Brzee Formula can activate your subtle and spiritual body. And how this happens is exactly as I've been talking about. The Shreem Brzee is turmeric, and then this combined with Lakshmi is the turmeric actually calls Lakshmi forward. So when you take Shreem Brzee internally, it gets into your bloodstream, it gets into your tissue, it gets into your cells, it gets into your bones, it gets into your organs. And this vibration of Shreem Brzee that you're chanting is actually now internal as well. It's not only in the physical body, it's also in the spiritual body. So the spiritual body or the subtle body is a few inches outside of the physical body. It's about 4 inches, they say, give or take. And that subtle body has an energy or a power in it, or surrounding it, and it circulates. But I'll get more into that a little bit about how that works with chakras. So vibration equals energy. Now, the law of vibration, it's sort of a quantum physics term, but the law of vibration states that everything in the universe moves and vibrates, and everything is vibrating at one speed or another. So nothing rests. Everything you see around you is vibrating at one frequency. You're vibrating at one frequency. Everything is really a combination of strings, and these strings all make up this vibrating energy. Plants also have their own resonance. They don't usually say that plants vibrate. They usually say that plants have resonance, just like the cells in your body. Every cell in your body makes sound, and that's been scientifically proven. And different cells in your body make different sounds. So they've even found that some disease cells, you can find them under the atomic microscope because they have a different sound to them than a healthy cell. So it's something I think in the future here we'll be doing a lot of diagnostic testing in the physical body based on sound and resonance of cells. So most herbs do not work. And the reason for that is plants, when I say herbs, I mean actually herbal supplements that you buy off the shelf in stores. So plants are living beings, and they give us oxygen. They're our food source. They have the ability to perceive and feel things. They're what you call sentient beings. But they're also the only beings that can turn sunlight into food. Now, this is a pretty advanced being. Not humans can't do that, for instance. So it's a pretty amazing thing that plants can do this. And there's like a sanctity and a consciousness, and all of that is really forgotten when they're manufactured, unless they're manufactured with the sanctity and the vibration, the resonance of the plant intact. And this is why Dr. Pillai started Nambu Botanicals as phoneme-infused herbs. So there's nothing we would ever do that doesn't have phonemes in it, because what it does is it locks up the life, or not locks, probably not the best word, but it ensures that the sound actually keeps the vibrating force in that plant. So that plant was vibrating, and the sound Shreem Brzee also has a personality, and that personality is abundant in consciousness and wealth. And it makes sure that that plant, that turmeric that's now being manufactured, stays there. And I'll tell you a little bit later about spiritually how that works. But basically, that plant has life. And as I said, unless a plant has the vibration, has the energy, then it's not going to have the force to be able to help you physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is. So there's scientific proof that sound makes signatures in plants, just as sound makes signatures in the brain. So when you hear a song that you like, you get happy. Or if there's something that's, a sound or a song that's kind of disturbing, it brings your mood down, or it makes you frustrated, or whatever. The same thing happens in plants. So there's proof, and if you look up on Google, you can find it called sound vibrations. So sound vibrations in plants, and you'll get a whole bunch of scientific studies about frequency and sounds, and how some frequencies really help the plant grow, and other frequencies will be counteractive to the plant growing, or that sound can even kill bacteria that's harmful to the plants. So frequency, sound, vibration has a huge impact, not only, as I said, just in the world around us, but very practically on the plant itself and scientifically. So Shreem Brzee Formula does not replace faith, and faith is still very necessary. You have to have a belief. You have to have a consciousness of hope, I think, for this herb or any herb, whether it's our herbs from Nambu Botanicals or anything that we're taking, you have to have some amount of faith that that herb is really going to work for you. So what is this mind-body connection, and how does Shreem Brzee work? So staying positive and having a good digestion are actually related. So when it comes to your mood, it's actually not all in your head. It's in your gut too. And the brain influences the digestive tract, and also the digestive tract influences the brain. So in fact, there's research out there that said that basically talks about how the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the colon, they all have a big say on how our mind and our bodies function and how happy we feel. And your stomach, you know, it sort of has a mind of its own, and the reason for that is that the stomach in this whole intestinal area, it has an independent network of hundreds of millions of neurons. It's actually more neurons in your stomach than are in your spinal cord. It's so complex and influential that scientists refer to this as actually the second brain. You've probably seen some articles on that. So cells in the lining, the gut lining, also produce about 95% of the serotonin that's in your body. And the rest of it, of course, occurs in the brain, which is only 5%, where the hormone regulates happiness and mood. So in the gut, the serotonin has a range of functions. It includes stimulating nerve cell growth. It also alerts the immune system to germs. It does a whole host of things. And turmeric has over 600 different therapeutic benefits. And in the top 5 of these, and I would say, and there's probably lots of arguments to say that actually a lot of these therapeutic benefits are interrelated. So in other words, you know, digestion affects inflammation, and there's all sorts of, I could go on and on about the science and the research around this. But in the top 5 is digestion, and turmeric is known to have a very good, a very helpful antioxidant. Like I said, it reduces inflammation. It helps with the whole digestive processes, with the enzymes. Turmeric is one of the top herbs that you take in order to clean out the microbes, to basically set all of the I don't want to say probiotics, but all of the bacteria in your intestine, to set it right and to heal that area of the body. So it has a huge impact on your digestion. So no wonder that turmeric also has a big impact on us staying positive, because the two are directly related. Now, motivation and resilience and new brain cell creation. So there's a lot of evidence out there that says as you become really sad, a vital part of your brain, which is the hippocampus, it actually shrinks. And how this actually happens is that it has a role to play with stress. And that is that as the brain associated with shrinking, it's known as brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. As that, the levels of BDNF fall in your brain, and that happens when you become really, really sad, that whole level of BDNF falls, which means that what BDNF is associated with the birth of new brain cells. So if that level falls, then there's fewer connections forming between the brain cells and, you know, other parts, the volume of the region of around the brain. So as the brain cells shrink, or there's less brain cells being born, then that region gets damaged, and we see that this also can manifest anxiety in a lower mood, poorer memory, learning abilities, and also extreme sadness. So motivation is also very highly tied to the brain and resilience. So turmeric actually fuels the brain and creates, it's one of the few herbs that can actually create new brain cells and repair brain cells that are degenerating. So turmeric is a fantastic nootropic, fantastic nootropic. It also decreases inflammation in the brain, which is also one of the chemical reactions that happens in our tissues that will break down the cell connections, and then that will also lead to, you know, some cognitive problems and that type of thing. So stress leads to hopelessness, and turmeric controls inflammation and stress. That's basically the takeaway point of this. Navel chakra and the spiritual and physical power center. Spiritual and physical power center. So this area, Dr. Pillai has spoken a lot about the navel chakra, and I think he's probably going to talk more about the navel chakra. And that is that this is the area where you gather all of your energy, all of your spiritual energy. You gather it in this navel chakra area. It's the area of your willpower. It's the area of confidence, self-esteem. It helps you overcome things. It makes you resilient. It makes you motivated. It has a lot of discipline. It has a lot of very helpful aspects in order to manifest there. So the navel chakra is about 1 inch above the belly button. And the navel chakra is also where Shreem Brzee draws its power. So it's like the energetic and spiritual battery location on the body for how Shreem Brzee, the mantra, works. And what happens when the energy gets stuck here? Low self-esteem, inability to set or maintain boundaries, you get codependent, you get a lack of self-control, anxiety and sadness, and then in some cases addiction. So why we use Shreem Brzee in the navel chakra, I guess, is because it detoxifies the navel chakra. So Dr. Pillai has talked a lot about how turmeric actually will detoxify the spiritual body as well as the digestive body. So Shreem Brzee detoxifies the navel chakra in both the spiritual and the physical area. So we use Shreem Brzee, we use the mantra in this area of the body, and we also have associated Shreem Brzee Formula with the navel chakra. How does Shreem Brzee work spiritually? The sound in the turmeric, the phoneme Shreem Brzee in the turmeric, make the spinning of that chakra. And what happens is the chakras in the body all spin in a certain direction. The sound vibration makes the spinning of that chakra, which is also an indicator of the health of that chakra, spin in the right direction so that you don't get stuck energy there. Sometimes it's like a pool of water, that chakra is, and that pool could, or I'm sorry, a stream of water. And that stream of water comes through and either it could get stuck on some rocks or end up in a little eddy, or it could, you know, kind of flow on to the next level. And that's exactly what a chakra is. So the chakra gets stuck, and what Shreem Brzee Formula does is, with its turmeric properties and the vibration and the phoneme infusion of Shreem Brzee, it unsticks from a subtle body and a physical body level, unsticks that navel chakra so that the energy can flow and we can manifest all the great things that happen in the navel chakra, which is the willpower and the confidence and all of that. So how to take Shreem Brzee? We get asked this question a lot. And the other question is not how to, but when to take it. So Shreem Brzee is the mover and the shaker of our cells. It's the mover and shaker of our emotions, our brain, and our spiritual body through the subtle body. So how Dr. Pillai has actually mentioned that people should be taking Shreem Brzee in order to get the best results is you take it, say that the mantra Shreem Brzee at least 108 times a day. That mantra has a vibration, as you know, and that vibration, when you say it, it does get internal, but it also, and it affects the brain, it affects the consciousness, and it's really beneficial for all the reasons, the abundance and the wealth and all. So it's really important to kind of keep that vibration going and to say the mantra and to chant Shreem Brzee at least 108 times a day. So when to take Shreem Brzee? My personal experience with Shreem Brzee is that I take it when I want to. It's when I'm intuitively led to take it. If you want to be more systematic about it, you can take it during Venus Hora. And Venus Hora is associated with Lakshmi and the goddess in general. So you're probably are going to see maybe more benefit there. We're also doing some studies that will probably, it's going to take a couple months for us to release them, but we're going to be doing some studies on which Hora actually will give you the greatest benefit in taking Shreem Brzee. So what time of day will give you the greatest benefit in taking Shreem Brzee? And this is all a study. It's called the circadian rhythm, and that's basically the clock genes in the body. So the plants also have clock genes, so they operate at different times as well. And then you focus on the navel chakra. So this, of course, you know, is the area that we've formulated Shreem Brzee with. So the navel chakra has all the energy in it. So when you're taking the herb, I would say Shreem Brzee a few times, and then I'd focus on the navel chakra, and I'd hold my intention there, what my goal is. So when to take? Practically speaking, from a physical body perspective, you would take it after you drink something that has a little bit of fat, like coconut water or some kind of juice, or you take it after food. You can take 2 capsules at a time. In our formula, we've put black pepper in it, which is a pepperine, which allows you to absorb turmeric. So turmeric, if you've read up about turmeric, a lot of contrary points about it is that it's not very soluble, so it's hard for it to get into the cells and into the organs. But the black pepper will allow you to digest and absorb the turmeric. So we have both of these in our Shreem Brzee formula. So you can take 2 capsules at a time, and I like to take it in the morning because why not have manifesting energy all day long? And but I do want to note that the circadian rhythms say to take it in the evening around 6 p.m. because it's an antioxidant, and that's the time that the body, according to research, will work with an antioxidant. So then you also, as I mentioned, you focus on the navel chakra, and you set your intention, and you focus on that, and bring your intention, and make that conscious connection between the herb, Lakshmi, and your intention, and how you all want it to unfold. So the practice of Shreem Brzee, so I'm just going to repeat this a little bit, and then we'll go into some Q&A. So how I take the herb is in the morning, I usually have a little bit of almond milk or coconut water, or have a piece of dried fruit, like a date or something. And then I will take 2 capsules of Shreem Brzee. And when I take it, I close my eyes, I hold it in my hand, and I kind of feel the vibration around it. And then as I take it, I hold my intention in my navel chakra. So it's important to focus on that navel chakra and really feel that navel chakra. It spins, it has a light to it, and the light in a color is like a orange red, and that will actually awaken that chakra as well. And after you have taken Shreem Brzee you probably will see, you'll start to feel turmeric in your body after about 5 or 6 days. And the manifesting part of it, what I have felt is I have physically felt that chakra in a way that I have never felt it before. And that's allowed me to draw more willpower into my life, to have more manifesting energy, to be able to stay more positive, to be able to put down the negative thoughts. And anytime something tries to sideswipe me, I kind of come back to it and kind of can put it down. So Shreem Brzee has a tremendous effect just on the strength of your mind, the strength of your body, your physical body, as well as the strength of your spiritual body. And what we have done, I think now on to the discount. In the Shreem Brzee program, you have Shreem Brzee Herb 20 discount code, which gives you 20% off. That discount code was limited to one person, and we just took that off. So if you've bought before, and quite a few of you have, you can go back and buy again with that same discount code of 20% off. And the URL for Nambu Botanicals is nambuherbs.com. So thank you, and I think Jean is going to take some questions, and we can go back into presentation mode. Jean, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. We're having a little bit of internet trouble, so I was having to deal with that. So I'm looking to see if there's any questions yet. Any questions for Beth about anything that was discussed today? Looks like not. Someone did ask if the pharmaceuticals ship outside of India.
The Vopec Pharmaceuticals? No.
Right.
We do, but only in Asia, but we don't ship to Europe or US.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Right. Nambu Botanicals will be available through Vopec for Indian buyers, probably in about 45 days.
Okay, fantastic. Any other questions for Nambu? Do I have to be a vegetarian to take this?
No. You don't. It's the capsule is veggie. Everything is vegetarian in the capsule, and it's organic. But you don't have to be vegetarian. It will work just as well, no matter what, whether you eat meat or vegetarian or vegan or anything. It doesn't have any impact on the benefit or the strength of it.
Okay, great. And Katya is saying, I didn't have any effect with the first bottle. What could have I done wrong?
You can, I think what happened, it's good to take the herb with consciousness. And we don't usually look at taking supplements, whatever. If we take other supplements, we usually just kind of throw them down with a glass of water. So I think what sometimes happens is that you kind of look at it as like a supplement. Looks like a supplement. It is a supplement. But then when you take it, you kind of take it like you take all your other supplements. And that's without any consciousness. There still needs to be this connection, I think, for it to work. It has actually worked for some people who haven't had and they've admittedly said, I don't sit there and meditate every time I take this. But what I have seen is that my thoughts have changed and I'm more positive and I've got more attentive to my goals. But I think if you haven't seen results, I would sort of double down on that part of having the consciousness, setting your attention, saying the mantra, at least maybe even say the mantra 2-3 times as you take it or just before you take it. And then that will, that should help with the effect. Get some water.
Yes, and I noticed that when I take the herbs separately, I can have more awareness around them and what impact they're having. So I used to take all of my herbs at the same time, and then I wasn't really sure what was happening. I was like, I guess it's okay. But more recently, I have been taking them individually, and then able to see, if there's an impact. And some may have an impact that you notice, and some may not. It can be happening at a subtle level. If you're already vibrating with Shreem Brzee, with some of you are in the Wealth Rising programs are practicing, then you have already Shreem Brzee in your consciousness. So this is adding to it, and you may not get a big awakening on it, but know that this is already sound infused with Shreem Brzee. So I love just it feels nourishing and good to me when I hold it in my hand and I make a prayer and I chant Shreem Brzee, even if it's just 3 times, and then take it. It just feels like part of my practice. So we don't always know what's happening in our practice. It doesn't always immediately become aware. But as Dr. Pillai has told us, it is happening. It's happening on a very subtle level. Continue to do your Shreem Brzee and continue to do your practice.
Right.
So that's my 2 cents about it.
One thing I like to, and a lot of people have said this too, it's like when you chant Shreem Brzee, you know, you kind of do it whenever you do it in the morning, or you meditate on Shreem Brzee, and then you're off to your day and you've kind of forgotten about, you know, the mantra, is it working? I mean, all of that kind of goes out and you start on your work and whatever you're doing for the day. What I love about the herb is I feel like there's this support, and other people have mentioned the same thing, all day long. I feel like I have this, it's almost like a, lack of a better word, like an angel. I sort of feel like there's something that's in me that is constantly working for me, even when I'm not focused on the manifesting or my goals. So that's something that not only myself, but others have said, that sort of that strength and that reinforcement, and in the spiritual and in the physical way, to feel Shreem Brzee acting in your life, even if you're not chanting or sitting there and meditating.
Right, right. Okay, so there's more questions. Can we use the turmeric that we use for cooking if we cannot get the capsules? Would it work as well?
Yeah, so there's 2 things. Some cooking turmeric is not what they call curcumin longa. So curcumin longa is the turmeric we use, and it's the one that's known to have the most curcumin in it. And curcumin is actually the active ingredient in turmeric. So some of that cooking turmeric may not be curcumin longa, which might mean it just doesn't have the same physical properties. But that said, I also want to say there's some people who have wanted instruction on how to infuse their own turmeric. And you can easily do that. Dr. Pillai has actually even given the instruction. And he said that if you could get a turmeric powder, and it's best to have it curcumin longa, mainly because you're going to get more of the physical therapeutic benefits from curcumin longa. But if you can get a sort of the herbal powder, and then you chant Shreem Brzee right in the proximity of that powder for, he said, an hour a day would do it, and that would properly infuse it. So, you know, you'd have to keep doing it. So if you want to infuse your own turmeric, it's definitely something that he's even given the instructions to do, and you can do it. It does require more, you know, diligence on your side and time, just to kind of make sure that you can stay on it each day and keep it vibrated, keep it energized. But that's a way to do it. So can you use your cooking turmeric? Definitely, you can use it. And I would say probably if you wanted to have that quality, chant an hour kind of right near it, or right, you know, have it right close by.
Yep, thank you. Yes, and there's actually a video, I think, that Dr. Pillai did on infusing your own turmeric. Okay, so we have another question. Shilpa is asking if Shreem Brzee is available for Indian buyers.
Yeah, it's available from the US, but I know that's for Indian buyers, that's not the number one choice. Vopak Pharmaceuticals will have for India the herb available in about 45 days, if not sooner.
Great.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Should we start having Shreem Brzee Formula at 6 p.m. in the evening?
Yeah, it won't do you, I mean, according to circadian rhythms, and I've read some books about it, some scientific articles about circadian rhythms and when to take certain herbs. And they did say turmeric did fall into the realm of taking it around 6 p.m. See, by all means, give it a shot. I mean, the good thing about turmeric is it doesn't have a stimulant effect, which some herbs do, and they might interrupt they might kind of keep you awake at night or not give you the best sleep. Turmeric doesn't have that. Turmeric is fine anytime during the day or evening to take. So, I would just say take it at 6. Maybe the best time to do is take it maybe right after dinner or sometime when you've taken some food or some snack or something to drink. But try it. Would love to find out how it goes. I also would love to hear from people who are taking it during Venus Hora. That would be really, really interesting if there's anyone out there taking it during Venus Hora and what your experiences have been.
Yeah, I know that I've been trying to incorporate it into my Venus Hora routine. So at least once Venus Hora per day, I try to do the yantra abhishekam, the hydration, the little puja, and then take the herbs. So when I know that, like when I'm doing that pretty regularly, I definitely feel the energy of Shreem Brzee and Lakshmi like more powerfully. And because I'm doing it all together, I can't say which it is, but I think that the combination of all of those things is definitely highly charged and definitely having an impact for me anyway.
Yeah.
So we have another question. Is the navel chakra the solar plexus or the second chakra that is located below the navel?
That's a great question. That's 2 questions, I think, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the navel chakra is the 3rd chakra. It's not the 2nd chakra. So a little bit about chakra anatomy is there's the root chakra. Now the root chakra is right between, and this is kind of, I've actually just kind of learned all of this myself outside of the navel chakra. The root chakra is in between like the anus and the sexual area. So it's just that small area, and that's where the root chakra is. The sacral chakra is the tip of your tailbone, and the navel chakra is a little bit higher than that. It's about 1 inch or half an inch above. I actually find it about a half inch above my belly button. So that's where I find the navel chakra. And is it the same as the solar plex chakra? That's really a good question because Dr. Pillai never, in fact, every time I've called it the solar plex chakra because I think it's more Western terminology is to call that particular chakra solar plexus and not navel. I think it's Indian and Siddha and Ayurveda to call it the navel chakra because every time I've called it the solar plex chakra, he will correct me and say, no, that's the navel chakra. Mm-hmm. They're not the same. So I'm not exactly sure, except for that we call it the navel chakra. And it's the manifesting chakra here in India as well. It's the one of willpower as well. So
right. I think the location is helpful, what you mentioned, and that was my understanding as well, about 1 inch or something below the belly button, right in that area. And I know when I started meditating, I'd have to hold it, so just press in that center in order to start feeling it. So you may want to do that as well, like when you're taking the herb, to have more of a visceral experience of the location, to place your finger or your palm on it and feel and start to have that energy center being activated. Sometimes it needs some help from external to place your attention there.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, Jayrada. And I also feel that women, and particularly as you get older, it's harder to find that chakra. And it's harder to activate that chakra when you're younger. At least my own experience is when I was younger, I knew that chakra, and I feel like I probably operated a bit from it. But as I've gotten older, I've lost connection with it. And it was really Shreem Brzee that brought me back to the connection of the navel chakra. And how I also experience it is of course, as you said, touching it. And also sometimes what I do is I lie down and I put my focus on it. At first I touch and then I take my hand off so I can feel it. And what happens when you lie down is you lose your ego. So when you're sitting up, you have a little bit more ego, and then it has like all these thoughts are going through your mind. But when you're lying down, actually you're putting your ego at rest. So it's a little bit easier to feel that subtle body and to feel that chakra. And it is a thrill when it totally lights up. So if you're having trouble finding it or connecting to it or relating to it, try lying down, touching it, and then just spending about 5 minutes every day, and you'll find it.
Great, yes. So Helen is asking the half an hour for Shreem Brzee, is it 4:30 a.m. in the morning? I think that means, is that the ideal time?
To take the herb or to
chant. I think what she means is to chant Shreem Brzee. Helen, if you can just clarify if you're talking about the herb or the chanting. Okay, someone else is asking, can we play Shreem Brzee near the turmeric powder if we cannot chant it for an hour?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think if you want to infuse your own turmeric, then and take it like that, or put it in your food. You know, it's a popular way to take turmeric, and particularly here in India, turmeric's used in lots of food. And then people also put milk, by the way.
Right.
And we're going to do something really soon, I hope, and that is to create a bulk formula of turmeric that's kind of like a goddess milk, that you can take a scoop of it and put it into your milk or your smoothie or your juice or whatever you want to do. But yes, you can do that as well, and give it a shot, and let us know how it goes. I mean, I'm really interested and eager to hear how people's, how the people who are getting a little bit more creative with this, how it works. Because in the end, we just want to see everybody, have abundance and wealth. So I think it's exciting to use both of these at the same time.
Okay, is it available in Europe?
It is available in Europe through the United States. So we do ship to Europe, and we have been shipping for a while to Europe. The one thing that there's no VAT on our, so like the UK, what happens is when we ship to the UK, sometimes the VAT comes into play. So we don't charge VAT. That's something that the country collects. But we definitely ship to Europe.
Okay, great. And here's a good question from Paul. What's the difference between the Shreem Brzee formula and the high health formula? They both have turmeric.
But they don't have the same sound. So yeah, about 50%. I mean, how I look at it is 50% or more is the sound. So this sound is what actually brings that herb alive and gives it the personality and the character to do what it's supposed to do for you. So we also call it herb as an ingredient. We're releasing a new website next week, which has, talks about sound as an ingredient, because it's kind of this biophysics thing, and nobody can really kind of relate to sound being an ingredient, but it is. And it has been from the Siddhas all along. The Siddhas always put sound in their herbs, usually right before they harvested them or right after they harvested them. So this is a practice that has been anciently, it's been done forever. And even if you go up into the mountains and the really authentic places here in South India, in Kutralam, in the hills, you will see siddhas putting prayers into plants on particular days that have the power from the planets to be able to make that herb an ultimate herb for healing. And it's usually for a particular person. It's very personal type of setting, and also very personalized medicine. But this is something that they have been doing it for quite some time. And as Dr. Pillai, if you've watched his videos, he talks about replicating it. So the two sounds, one, we don't actually, the only sound that we're putting out there and is not proprietary is the Shreem Brzee one. The other sounds are proprietary. But I would have to say high health has more of the characteristic of raw power, manifesting power and tremendous health for the whole body. Whereas Shreem Brzee has more the wealth line, the abundance line, the money line. So they have that slight distinction there. I hope that was helpful.
Yes, I think so. And from like and you sense them too. Like, so everyone should do experiments and intuitively feel like when you're drawn to an herb or when you're drawn to taking it. I know that like Shreem Brzee, I definitely take Venus Hora when I'm chanting Shreem Brzee, when I want to really be activated in that way more. High Health I take when I want more like bodily comfort or like just healing. Like, so to me, it has a different vibration to it, and that's just really true. So if you tune in, you can start seeing what that is for you, and it's a cool experiment. And as you know, spiritual seekers, we're continually trying to get our consciousness more refined, and your intuition is definitely a part of that. So we have another question. So someone says, when I take the formula at Venus Hora, when I hold it in my hand, I feel a ticklish sensation. So that's cool.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot.
If someone is having formula 4 bottles and not, I don't know what that means. I get your guest 1107. Can you rewrite your question? Patricia says, Shreem Brzee has already eliminated pain in the body for me. Does this imbibed turmeric enhance and raise the vibration as well?
Yeah. That's it raises the vibration through the subtle body, through that sort of spiritually, that's how it works. But yes, it definitely raises your vibration. And I'd say your alertness, like your awareness and consciousness.
Yeah. So someone is asking for clarity about the shipping. It is shipped from the U.S. So we ship everywhere, right, Nambu?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. So it ships from the U.S. and it's shipped everywhere in the world. Okay. Helen is clarifying her question. Babaji said we have to say the mantra, if I understood, a half an hour. Is it in the morning, 4:30 a.m.? Is that the ideal time? So she's asking about chanting the mantra, Shreem Brzee.
What do you, I know just personally, I feel it more powerfully, and it helps me throughout the day if I chant it at that time. That's what they call the Brahma Muhurta. And there's actually an elixir in the brain that is released at only that time. It has to do with melatonin and different chemicals and hormones happening in your brain. But in that elixir is sort of like the elixir that allows impossible things to happen and thoughts to change and kind of rapid consciousness. So I think it's helpful to take then, to chant then, yeah. What about you? I don't know. Are you chanting at 4:30?
On a good day, yeah. I'm not one of those people where it's always there, but we do encourage it, and especially in the Wealth Rising program, and then in general, folks. So what we basically say is there's an ideal time, and it's what Dr. Pillai has mentioned during the God Hour, the Brahma Muhurti, and that is in the morning between 3 and 6 a.m. So if you can do it during that time, then that's ideal. And then if you can't, the next kind of best time is Venus Hora, anytime during the through Venus Hora. And if you can't do it, then anytime, as long as you do it during the day, is the best time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best time.
Yeah, don't hold back. Okay, so the clarified question: if someone has had 4 bottles of formula and still not feeling good, what is this? Is it karma?
Not feeling good, or not feeling the herb, or not manifesting?
They don't say. So if you guys you can clarify again.
If you've taken 4 bottles and you haven't manifested, Let me look at it from that perspective, because the physical stuff I don't really know. But maybe what I would do is stop taking it for a while and go back to the basics of your formula, of your practice. So if your practice is, at a certain time you're chanting Shreem Brzee, and you're trying really hard to keep your thoughts in the positive side, then I would, for me, whenever something's not working, I just go back to basics. I'm just like, okay, something got ahead of me here, and all of a sudden it's not working. So I would want to kind of go back and build on that. I think the hardest thing is really our thoughts. I mean, I'm sure you guys know this and everything, and it's just to not believe yourself. Don't, when you start getting kind of, a little bit more on the negative side, the thing, what I've just done is said, okay, this is my thought, but you know what? It might not be true, or this isn't the right perspective necessarily to have. It's not helping me in this moment. So I'm going to shift that or ignore it or something like that. So.
Right. Yeah, they clarified saying not manifesting and not really feeling good either. And it could be something else. I don't have your name because you're a guest signed in chat, but it doesn't necessarily have to do with the formula. There can be other karmic patterns happening, astrological things occurring. So I would look deeper into the solutions that Dr. Pillai does offer for helping to manifest and feel generally better.
Oh, good, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Shilpa says, turmeric is used to heal in India. When you cut yourself, you put turmeric powder on it, also for colds and coughs.
Yeah, it's got a lot of 600 therapeutic uses in the science journals, and I know traditional India has so many more. It's also kind of an interesting thing about turmeric is the original kumkum that you see women put here in the third eye is actually turmeric powder and lime juice. And that's how they actually developed kumkum to put here, which is, activating, protecting that area.
Wow. And then Patricia is saying, thank you. So the Shreem Brzee is getting amplified in the body with the Shreem Brzee turmeric formula. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's all the questions we have so far. Folks, do you have any other questions? You can type them into chat. I hope that, so just type if you have a question. I hope that this has been helpful in terms of clarifying both what is turmeric, how it can help you, how it can amplify and empower your Shreem Brzee practice and increase your manifestation ability, increase your focus, as well as how do you take it. So if you choose to take Shreem Brzee formula, which I have my handy bottle here, then you would, the way Beth said to do it, I put 2 capsules in my right hand, I hold it, I pray, I make a prayer, and I chant Shreem Brzee a few times, and then I take it. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It's just another way to become more conscious. Dr. Pillai always wants us to be more conscious of what we're doing, because when we bring that awareness into every activity, we are helping to become, it's helping to become more aware in everything we do. So, and that includes monitoring our thoughts, which, as Beth just mentioned, is super important about how we end up feeling. So now you are equipped with how to use the Shreem Brzee formula. You have a 20% off coupon, Shreem Brzee Herb 20. And when you go to Nambu Herbs, right? That's the website.
Nambu Herbs, yeah, or Nambu Botanicals or Nambu Herbs.
Okay. Right, nambuherbs.com. You go there and you select your Shreem Brzee formula, and then you put in your coupon code and you get 20% off, which is awesome. And I love them. I'm actually going to give them to as Christmas presents as well. So for people in my life that I want them to have Shreem Brzee, but they're not going to chant it, then they're going to get one of these, and I'm going to ask them to take it every day as a gift to me. So that, and I would like to see how it works. I actually had my aunt, who's totally not spiritual, take High Health, and she had immense swelling in her legs. She was on medication. The doctors couldn't give her more medication without it hurting her. So she asked me what to do, and I told her. I gave her a bottle of High Health, and she took it, and she's like, that is what made a difference. I was on medication, it didn't work. I was doing what they told me, it didn't work. She like couldn't even put shoes on. Her feet were so swollen, but she took High Health and it worked. So this is magic. And what I love so much is the magic about it, and that Dr. Pillai has made a product that is also empowered by him. You know, it's his energy and his blessings that come through these herbs that make them work. And so as, you know, people who are in his aura, in his field, in his programs, who love him, these herbs are what it's his manifestation. And through his lineage of siddhas, and in the, you know, modern times, how we get to tap into what they learned and spent lifetimes perfecting on how to infuse herbs with sounds, put them in the body to make a transformational difference in our very practical life. So that's what I love about Nambu Botanicals and taking them. Let's see if we have any other questions. Can the capsules be opened and sprinkled on food for an elderly person who can no longer swallow capsules?
Yes. Yep. Also, we have people who give it to their dogs. If you want to do that, I had actually fantastic. I'm a little bit, because it's a food supplement, dietary supplement. There's some things I can't say all the way through, but someone who had a dog that was ailing gave it to their dog, and the dog became better. So we heard about that as well. So yes, an elderly person, and it's totally fine to unlock that capsule and put it on the food.
Great. And someone else is asking, does the formula give prosperity or does it build willpower?
Both.
Right. That's what I thought. Okay. Oh, someone's just commenting on someone else's. Patricia said she's ordering some now. Thanks, Patricia. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
And then someone's asking, is there an herb for time, delays, and procrastination?
There is, actually. Kind of two different things. The two that I'd recommend for time delays and procrastination, one is high memory, which is formulated for the third eye, and the third eye controls time. So that is how, you know, I make that association. And then the other one is Enlightenment Formula, which is Eclipta alba. And Eclipta alba is just like a heavy duty karma buster. Any kind of karma you want. I constantly are getting notes from people about Enlightenment Formula, and what Enlightenment Formula has kind of broken them of their patterns or their bad habit or whatever it may be. So those two would help you with time. I think if it's procrastination, I think Shreem Brzee would actually help a lot too with procrastination, because we do it because we procrastinate because we're like, oh, you know, I could, it's that whole willpower thing. It's like, well, you know,
right.
I could another day, or I don't need to. And Shreem Brzee is a good taskmaster, that particular formula at getting at procrastination too.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest that. And someone said, oh, High Health is sold out. When will that be available again?
Yeah, it will be available, we hope, within 3 weeks. It's being manufactured now. But.
Okay, good. Paul's going to get some for his mom too. Great. And I can't pronounce your first name. Jasmine is saying, I already ordered, was considering it for a long time, just did it. Great, thanks. definitely let us know. And I think there's a way to write in on their testimonials, and definitely you can do a review after you receive your bottle and start taking.
Yeah. And if you want to, ask specific questions, support@nambubotanicals.com. And usually they're pretty good. Everyone's pretty good. Like if you send a note and said, hey, maybe Beth could answer this question, they'll forward it to me and I'll take care of it. So, if you want to get a direct message to me, then that's a good way to do it.
Great. And then suggest just saying, can we take multiple herbal formulas together?
Yes, that's how I live my life. Yeah, I take all of them at different times. I can't throw, just like Gina was saying, she takes hers at certain times. And I end up taking all of them usually before 2:00 in the afternoon, but it's all at different times. And I think no harm to it. They're all totally compatible with one another.
Right. And then do we take the Shreem Brzee pills with some kind of fat, like butter or ghee?
If you want to, it's more soluble. So what happens with turmeric is you'll absorb it in your body. All that good Shreem Brzee vibration, all that good turmeric will end up in your cells. A lot more of it will end up in your cells if you take it with something with a little bit of fat.
Right. Yeah, I read that too. Any herbs recommended for eye health?
Yes, Enlightenment Formula, Eclipta alba.
Okay, great. Any other questions, folks? I know what's been fun for me is like creating a relationship with the herbs and seeing when they start speaking to you and really calling to you as to when you should take them. So I encourage everyone to use that too as part of your practice. And
you're actually, Gerarda, you're right. The herb is a goddess.
Yeah.
Every herb is a different goddess, and they all have their own character and their own personality.
Mm-hmm.
And
they'll start speaking. Yeah, they'll start speaking to you in terms of like, I don't hear it like language. It's just more of a calling. Like now is the time.
You feel a drawing towards it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've also taken Shreem Brzee Formula at night, right before bed. That's nice too.
You have?
When it feels like the right thing to do, I'll take 2 capsules before bed.
Good. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? There's a link right on the page that says Shreem Brzee Infused Herbs. You can click on that, or you can go to nambuherbs.com and you can see the suite of different herbal products that are there. And there's also a special, you get the coupon code because you're here, but then there's also a special of, looks like free shipping, right, Nambu?
Yeah, that you can't use the two together though.
Okay.
Like you can't put those 2 discount codes together in a system that's
okay. So one or the other.
One or the other, yeah.
All right. Any other questions? You guys have been fabulous. We've been on for over an hour, and there's still 90 people here. So
great.
All right. Last chance. Any questions? Okay, I guess not. So we have had so much fun with Beth today that we're definitely going to have her back and talk about more herbs. There's several different kinds that we can get into, and I think everyone will really enjoy learning more about the herbs, why these particular herbs were selected, and the vibration infused benefits. So thank you so much for joining us today, Beth.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Fantastic. So any other questions you have, where do they write? Support at
nambubotanicals.com. And then
great.
It's for me, and they'll forward it to me, and I'll answer.
Okay, perfect. Or if there's any general questions, we can certainly get that. And then Shilpa is saying, I take enlightenment pill in the morning before eating.
That's the right time to
Yeah. So in the new year, we will be blessed with Beth some more. In the meantime, be sure to use your coupon code for your Shreem Brzee Formula and let us know how that goes for you. You can certainly post in the Shreem Brzee Facebook group. It's a group of about 13 or 14,000 people, and we'd love to hear from you there as well on how this has impacted your practice. So be conscious and aware of how it is transforming you and what you notice, and we'd love to find out some more. So wishing everyone a fabulous holiday season, blessed with health and prosperity and of course happiness. And we will talk to you soon. Namaste.